Okay, guys, I have invited Caroline.
Aaron, who's your friend in the background?
Guys, I'm going to introduce you to my friend in the background. I was just waiting for everybody else, but I'll do it twice if you really want to know. This is my friend Abel. I'm having so many technical difficulties. Hang tight, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Caroline.
Whoa.
Hey, so good to see you.
Caroline.
Guys,
Lauren.
I
Thought
know,
you weren't going to be here.
I wasn't going to. And now I'm like, okay, I got like 30 minutes, so I can be on this. When's
You
lunch?
couldn't stay away.
Yes, so I'm here. Hi,
Hey,
Caroline.
Hi, Lauren. So good to
Hey,
How are
Jeremy.
you?
Caroline, what's up?
A most
Hey,
special
guys.
welcome to our guest attendant, Caroline Collins, guys. Give it up for Caroline. And we also have another guest in, all the way from Denmark. Guys, this is Abel Asmussen.
Oh, cool.
awesome.
Hi.
Abel has
Welcome.
graduated from worship school. He and his wife are here hanging out for a week in the States.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, you can tell everyone a little bit about you. I don't have to introduce you. You got this.
Fine. Hi, buddy. Aaron just let me sit in here with you guys. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm from Denmark. I've gone through the 10,000 Fathers tracks 2 years ago. And I lead a worship school there back in Denmark. So 10,000 Fathers is both my own personal journey, but also just a great learning experience to do worship school myself in Denmark. And so thanks for letting me sit in here with you guys and learn a little bit about your haiku poems.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. Well, I didn't tell you, he's an amazing worship leader at a church in Aarhus, Denmark. Just a great friend. He and Elise have become really good friends of ours the last few years. We love these guys, and his school is just amazing. He's basically doing a school a lot like 10,000 Fathers in Denmark. And he has, how many worship leaders this year? 12?
Yeah.
12 worship leaders he's discipling for the year with a team, and it's just really cool. So we go over there about once a year, once or twice, and hang out with Arvel and his school, and then he comes over here as often as he can too. Just we're writing together, incredible songwriter. So we're breaking out of a songwriting session to jump into this huddle. So we hope that you guys have great ideas that we can incorporate into our songwriting session as we finish it. So no pressure, but we're
Yeah, no pressure.
This is all just a ploy so that you can write better.
counting on
songs.
stealing from you. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab a fan because it's like roasting in here, and then we're gonna jump in. If you haven't already posted stuff in Slack, do that now. If you have, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Jeremy, how's the baby?
Yeah.
Good. He's a content little dude.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then Lauren's feeling great too, which is awesome. So
That's
I'm at my house right now because we've been staying with my grandparents. So today's the day we kind of like settle back into normal life. So now we're
normal.
doing good. Yeah, quote unquote normal life, right?
How is it with the four of them? Are they?
Yeah, our little one's a little jealous, the little girl, but but then at the same time, she's like, like yesterday, she was like, she went up to the baby and gave him a kiss and said, "I love you." So, so I think
Little mother.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a little jealous of our time, but adjustment needed. So.
How old is she?
She's 2.5. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always hard when you're not the baby anymore.
Yeah, so I think she looked over at my wife and like no reason at all, just across the dinner table, just started bawling. So she's like, I think
the third child did?
Yeah, the last one. So
No.
So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Like,
That's how our
yeah.
third would be if we ever had a fourth. We won't
Yeah.
have a fourth, but
Oh, that's precious.
Okay. Hey, real quick, I'd love to get just an update from Caroline because the rest of us see each other every week. But Caroline, give us just a quick update on your life. How is everything? What's going on?
Good. Well, the big news I have is that my brother moved back from Nashville. He and my sister-in-law and my little niece, she's 2, have moved in with us and been here for about like 2 months. But that's been really cool. Kind of like a reunion family, but they're looking for a place to rent, but it's been a full house. We have like, I think it's 8 in our house, so it's been nuts, but it's been really, really good, and I've been super busy at church. Yeah, that's kind of been a interesting thing. I've had like a hard time managing, so I'm kind of making myself take 3 weeks to just say no to things and just be like, have like margin in my life. 'Cause I have not been doing that, and that's like Christ. So I really like
Fit in great to this huddle, by the way.
Mhm.
I don't know what you're talking about, Aaron.
Yeah. At least Troy's not here to further corroborate your problem.
yeah, but yeah, I just need to be present like with myself and then also with my family. Like I hate going out the door and being like, all right, see you guys later again. Like I only had 10 minutes here, but that's just the worst. So yeah, definitely that's like where I'm at, and I'm trying to make times where I can really, be present with my family and like hang out and get to know my sister-in-law more, because they're not like technically like believers. So I've just been focusing on that lately, but yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm really glad that you're here. It's fun to see you.
Glad to be here.
Love it. Okay, guys, this is going to be a fun day. I love Haiku Day. So first of all, before we jump into these, I'd love to hear, how was this for you guys? And then we'll start with you, Lauren, since I know you don't have a lot of time. But before we jump into specifics, how was this process for you? I mean, you learned something, you put it into effect. How was it for you? And could you see any direct, benefit on the craft of songwriting down the road? So general question first, and then we'll get to specifics.
Yeah, I remember loving haiku writing from back in 8th grade. And so this was really fun to revisit for me. I was like, oh yes, like I remember this in English class. I loved this. So this was a lot of fun. And also like nature is where I feel like I relate to God the most. And so I love writing poems revolving around nature. So yes, I love it. It's
Cool.
awesome.
Cool.
Well, I'll say
Sorry, what?
Oh, go. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Like, was it opening up to everybody else, or was I supposed to keep?
Yeah, everybody. I'd love to hear if anybody else. Did anybody hate it? Did anybody love it?
I hated it just because it was. I don't like it. Just because it was a good thing to do. Like I had like my first day off yesterday, and I was like not wanting to do anything, and so I just bit the bullet and did it. And I mean, it was, once I got into it, like I knew that I was going to enjoy it, but I hate the getting past the discipline of like of actually doing it and like getting into the writing mindset. It's really hard for me. It's real hard.
Okay. Lindsay, how about you?
I actually really liked it. One of the most challenging things I felt like when we started songwriting, because I hadn't been writing before, was paring my words down. And so this is an even, further challenge to only have 17 words. But I feel like that guy on a WikiHow said that you should, like, I don't remember, read it an obscene number of times or whatever.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I could totally feel that because I just wanted to keep changing it, and yeah, but I liked it.
Okay. Well, you guys can probably already figure this out, but I love this as an exercise in economy. So in economical communication, Arvel and I are working on a song right now where we're trying to just write a bridge for a song, and we only want it to be like 2 lines. Like, we want just 2 lines. We don't want an 8-line bridge or 4 lines. We want the song to be simple. And so to say everything that needs to be said in just 2 lines is an exercise in economy, like getting the most you can with the least possible space, right? So that's what I love about haiku. I don't know if any of you guys studied Walt Whitman or Emily Dickinson, but those two are just totally different poets, right? Walt Whitman is like 10 pages about something, and every page is amazing. Emily Dickinson is like 6 lines about it, also amazing. And I need haiku because I tend to be more like Walt Whitman. I want to be more like Emily Dickinson. And so obviously haiku is neither of those two. So this is why we're doing this exercise. And I also love that it just stirs some creative stuff with height limitations. So the limitations are helpful. So let's jump into these real quick. And it looks like Troy's going to jump in. That's great. Hey, Troy, if you can hear us. So we'll just go in the order that I got everything. So Jeremy, I'd love for you, I'd love to hear how was this for you, first of all, and then just to have you read your 3 poems to us, if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I knew nothing about haiku, but there's a creative writer lady in our church that was showing me her haikus. Like, this was, probably 2 months ago. And so it's kind of funny. I actually need to reach out to her and say, like, hey, I have to write some haikus. But it was good for me just because of that limitation aspect too. You guys know for me, it's like trying to figure out how to say more with less. So I actually really enjoyed the boundaries of it. I don't know if I did it right, so hopefully I did. But yeah, the boundary thing was huge for me. So
cool.
Yeah. All right, here, I'll go for it. Pain storms the calm room, cry is heard at long last, joy drowns out the pain. And then number 2 is built to span seasons, hauling across the country, rolling on the tracks. And then 3 was hurry down the road, made to rest and taste the rain, business never stops.
Did you write that 3rd one for Lindsay?
That was for our Huddle.
Yeah, Caroline too, apparently. Cool. Okay, so tell us anything you want about any of these poems. These are nice.
Yeah. So the first one. There was the 3rd line I actually played around with because I was trying to think. From what I read about the haiku stuff, it said like show don't tell, and so I don't know if it comes across what it's about in light of what's happened in our life very recently, but
yes.
But yeah, I was trying to there was the 3rd line I almost had was just joy. I think I had like joy. Hold on, I have it on a document here. Oh, never mind, I don't have that. But basically, I was gonna just say like the baby has come, but then I was thinking, well, that's just telling instead of trying to show. So that's what I was trying to do, I guess, with that one. And then the second one, I was thinking of, I don't know, I really like the ministry time to me has been like super dear. Like I've kind of like listened to it here and there just throughout the past couple of weeks. And so one of the words for me in the last one in track 2 was hauling. So I was and then I was looking out across we were staying at my parents' house this past couple of weeks with the baby. And I was looking out, and they live on like that gorgeous view. If you guys remember, where you can actually see like the train tracks, and there's a train that crosses a river, or the lake. So that's what I was thinking about with that imagery, I guess, of the second one. And then yeah, the 3rd one, I was just it's not just for for me too. Just it's actually been kind of good for the past week and a half with the baby, just kind of like slowing down and doing nothing, So yeah, that theme of hurry and just. I don't know, it's been raining a lot here, so that 2nd line, made to rest and taste the rain, kind of came from that. So
great job, man. Wow, I love this. Any comments on this?
I love on the first one that you said that you changed it, that joy drowns out the pain. That's so true, having gone through that experience. I'm not the pain being the first word and the last word. It made me think around in circles. Like, I don't know if you meant it like that. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Because my first thought was, well, I would have not used the same word twice. But then I was like, but maybe like it's come full circle, or I don't know. It's really interesting. I like it.
I didn't plan that. I actually wrestled with like, man, I probably shouldn't use the same word, but
yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right, Lindsay. Yeah, beautiful. Wow, well done, Jeremy. I love all three of these. Really great job.
Awesome.
Oh, great. Okay. I'm going to skip Will's because he's not in here. I look forward to reading this later. Okay, Lauren, take us away.
All right. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so my first one. A crisp morning path, the fog resembles my heart, golden are the leaves. 2 is stirring waves rise up, birds carry songs on their wings, the distant shore calls. And 3rd is shimmering of lights, joy and laughter all around, burnt chestnuts linger.
Ooh, yeah.
So the first one, I just always I was just reflecting on like a morning walk that we did, and I always love the fall and just the crispness of it. And just the fog, how it just kind of resembles really like personally like my heart just kind of is foggy, just clear of some vision. But golden are the leaves is representative like of hope. And then second one, I really didn't have necessarily anything that went with it. I guess stirring waves rise up could be like an internal feeling. And then just like trying to keep all of like the of what you feel, like all of the sensory stuff included. So I don't know, that one, it wasn't like it had any deep meaning. It was just something that I thought all sounded good together. And then the third one, of course, represents like just the feeling of like Christmas time and all that. So yeah.
Right, Lauren. I love the fog resembles my heart. It's nice.
Thanks.
Really good. Good. Any other stuff that you guys noticed in Lauren's?
Yeah, like the fog resembles my heart. Like I was interested to see like what you meant about that, because can you hear me? It's not like it's picking up. Okay. But like to me, I was like, what does she mean by that? And I was like, well, the fog lingers, and I was like, holy crap. So it's like all of this stuff like came like rushing through my head, how it's like, oh my gosh, like taking a walk in the morning, it's like I want my heart, like it is like an amazing thing, and it's like you want your heart to be like fully like the fog, like you want your heart to be like in everything and just linger there and sit there for like as long as possible.
Yeah.
And like that's what I don't know, like, and it's just like there's something like peaceful about the fog.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was like it blew me away. I was like, what in the world? So.
And I love it with haiku poems, like they said, and the thing was that you give people just enough that they can finish their own story. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so cool, is like hearing what you took away from it, and then how I felt like writing it. Like that's really cool to hear your input on that.
Yeah, and like because like when I first read it, I was like, that's really simple, and it's like it's just like bam, bam, bam. Mm-hmm. And so it made me wonder, is like, what does that mean? And like in the wiki, how it's like haiku is like a shortened phrase of light verse. Mm-hmm. And so that's what was so like that, like that's why I think he did like such a good job, like just with that line, because it's like it's like simple. The fog resembles.
Yeah.
I guess that was 7 syllables. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a great example.
Good. Yeah, good. And I mean, what you just said, Lauren, is exactly what songs do, right? I mean, let's give them enough to let them fill in the details. That's what Pat Patterson was talking about.
Yeah.
And if we show without telling, and they'll put all those details in.
Yeah.
And another thing that I love about the haiku exercise, as opposed to just like a free form, write 3 short poems, is you're counting syllables. And songwriting is counting syllables. You know, it's that melodic math. And so I think that is really great. You did a great job. Well done.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. I think Troy has popped out. Maybe he'll be back in. So we'll come back to Troy, and we'll go to Lindsay.
Okay. I was just going to tell Lauren too, and then I'll read mine. But I liked on your third one, the alliteration for the lights, laughter, and linger. That was like, I liked saying it. Okay. Here's mine. Papery thin hands hold. Is today Christmas, he asks. Long white hall barren. Number 2. Dead leaves swirl about. Posed faces smile in the sun. Light fades into gray. Number 3. Salty tears swallowed. Running feet, graspy hands search. Peace stands with arms extended. So the first one, I had a conversation with my grandmother. My grandfather's in a nursing home, and it's just the sadness of the moment. Her love contrasted with the barrenness of, if you've ever been in those places, it's pretty bleak. Number 2, we had family pictures made recently. So it was, I guess the contrast there would be things dying, going towards the winter, but, you know, you're taking a picture of the family and you're smiling and, you know, you're taking a picture of life, basically. But then you go back into reality, not trying to be all like morbid, but it's not all happy and sunshiny every day. And then the third one, our oldest daughter, Ella, is 9, and she's struggling with anxiety. And lately it's really been severe. So I was just thinking about her, what she would feel like, just kind of grasping. And then the idea, you know, that God is there with arms extended, is just trying to get her to recognize it. Of course, that, you know, that's hard for us as adults, much less a 9-year-old. So, yep.
I don't know the full line like right in front of me, but salty tears swallowed. Is that right? Or swell up?
Swallowed. I had salty tears swallow hard, but then I realized that was 6 syllables. So,
well, I like salty tears because you're incorporating both like tears, like the feeling of them running down, the saltiness of like how that tastes, and swallow is another feeling. So like the sensory in just that line alone is really great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Great, Lindsay. Wow, that first one is amazing. I was just visiting a friend in the hospital 2 days ago, and wow, amazing. Really great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good, guys. Wow, so good. Okay, Jared, let's jump to you.
Alrighty. All right. First one, acorns pelt the roofs, reprisal as nature sows, fall to death, then life. Second one, trust befalls strangers, words that demand recompense, choice to run or stay. Number 3, safety in numbers. Let me start that again. Safety in numbers, family, weep and rejoice, joyfulness in all.
Tell me about it.
The first one, it's like I was just thinking about nature when I've just like been sitting out on my front porch, and lately there's like acorns that are just like pelting the roofs like late at night, and it is so loud it's like almost offensive. I'm gonna have to look at them again. And so like rest was the subject of that, and I was just thinking about that, like how it's like it's almost like offensive, like how they, I mean, they're so loud when they hit the roofs. So it's just like kind of getting in the middle of everyone's lives, kind of. And so it's just like it happens like every single year. Like it's just like a constant repeating thing. And then like the seed has to die for it to gain life. The second one is just about basically like telling people probably more like offering like more of yourself to people than you should, that you haven't like built a trust with. And so there's just stuff that happens that that offends others or offends me, and so you have a choice to run or to stay. It's kind of that's a deep one for me. Conflicts, like this is like about like kind of the stuff that some stuff that we're dealing with like at church and like our worship team, but that we say that we're a family, and we are, but it's becoming more and more like real, that like it's like being more like being deeper in relationship with each other and like really knowing each other well and being able to encourage each other like without like fear of giving too much or rebuking people, like friends and team members like out of love, because it's like you don't want to see them fall, and just loneliness is terrible. So like safety in numbers, and then I need to look at it again, but it's about family, and just that there's conflict is like a part of family, and it's like better to work through stuff than it is to let it fall by the wayside and let there become like separators and dividers like in between people.
Yeah, wow. Amazing.
That's about it.
Wow, I love the development of the three of yours too. It's really beautiful. What else are you guys seeing in Jared's?
I keep being drawn to the second one. Like, I just really love the second one. Trust befalls strangers. I just keep repeating that in my head. I'm like, why? I don't know why, but I just really like that. And I don't know. I guess it always is a choice to run or stay with trusting, choosing to trust. I don't know. That one's really, there's a lot to that one. I really like it.
I think it does sound, it almost sounds melodic to the second one, because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it does. That second one stands out to me too. The first one actually also, in that if you remember in that little essay about haiku, how that turn from the second to the third line needs to be like this paradigm shift almost, right? Do you guys remember that? And I like that you just kind of sum it up. Well, all three of yours do that in the third line. They just kind of sum it up in one line, you know, the main thought. And that choice to run or stay, it's powerful, really powerful. It's great. Can you give us the just a 30-second update, man, on your role at church, and if there's anything that we could be praying for?
Yeah. No, like the 30-second update. The Lord has just been doing a lot in my life, and has just like been making me realize like just that there's so much more than to. I love leading worship, and it's really fun, and like the musician side of it, and the Lord has just kind of been like taking away like everything that's like hindering me from Him and like what He wants, and I've just been realizing that it's so much more important for like our relationships, like between like the leaders and then like the co-leaders and other musicians are so much more important than leading worship on Sunday. Like I would rather like have a relationship with them than lead worship, and leading worship is just like a bonus. Yeah. So basically, like, I've decided to take a break for a while because I haven't had a break like in 6 years, pretty much. So it's always been like a constant thing, like where like I'm leading or I have a responsibility. If I'm not leading, then I'm at church, like doing something else. And so this is like the first time like at our church where there's been like an influx over the past year of volunteers and staff members to where I could really be okay with like taking a break and saying no. And it's been a really hard thing because I don't want to. Like, I want to keep on leading. And I'm going to. It's just a short hiatus. That's a lot longer than 30 seconds, but that's about it.
Okay, well, I want to hear more about that, but we can do it next week in Huddle because we're doing an Enneagram checkup.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be hearing how your 4 energy is doing with all this.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay, that's a sneak preview of coming attractions. Caroline, you might want to join us next week too. It's gonna get messy.
Mm.
No, that's good, Jared. I'm really happy that you get a break, man. You've been needing one. You know, something's got to give. Like,
exactly.
Oh, it's just, it's not. It's too valuable to crush.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you're getting a break.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But I do look forward to hearing more of your processing, what your heart is feeling as you go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, great poems. I love this. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Caroline is up, guys. I posted Caroline's in Slack, and she just DM'd it to me since she's not on our very private channel.
Very private. Well, Jared, we are literally going through the exact same thing, basically. I was like nodding to everything you're saying because I'm like,
fantastic.
I'm going through the same thing with my church, and one of my poems is about. It's funny, we both used acorn falling on roofs in one of them, but
really,
yeah, I'll read through mine. So the first one is sun splits through tree limbs, flickering tunnel on hands, hope to move some. And the second one is small swells in sea. Oh, somebody saying something?
Sorry, was someone saying something?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Caroline. I heard it too. I don't know what it was.
Okay. Sorry. Small swell in sea's glass, hurricane defaced its sheen, erosion formed gems. And then the third is tired breath laid past 12, skipping acorns fall above, soon her voice wakes me. And the first one is like, well, recently I've just been feeling like kind of, I don't know what the word is, but just kind of like stuck because I've been living like in the same place my whole life, and I see like these same exact things every single day. I'm driving the same places, yet I'm growing in the same destination that I've always been. And I'd go through this kind of like canopy of oaks going to the church every single day. And there was just a day where I was like just breaking down for some reason. I was just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I was just like praying, but the sun in the afternoon like split through the tree limbs, and it was like on my hands, and I just felt like warmth, and it gave me hope that like I'm moving somewhere. So that was pretty practical. The second one is about the situation in church and everything, and I went to the beach the other day, and I was just sitting on the sand and like watching. This was before Hurricane Matthew hit, and it was just like so calm, and there was like small little swells, and we evacuated, and I was like working on these, and when we came back there was a type of erosion and everything, and that just kind of came from that, and it was kind of like the conflict and everything in church. It's like I've had to have some really uncomfortable conversations, and I'm continuing to, and it's kind of it's like confrontation with myself and other people, and it's kind of like things have been stirring up and everything. It's really uncomfortable, but I'm starting to see how good things will come from it. So that's kind of like the gem part. And then the last one is just about the exhaustion at my home, and I've been taking care of my niece a lot, and I just like realized I was kind of relying on my own strength a lot, and how exhausted I was when I laid down, and then I would constantly wake up because of the annoying acorns, and those kind of resemble like the thoughts constantly going in my head, and like not being able to slow down, and like all the things that are like keeping me awake and bothering me. And then every morning at 5:45, my niece comes into my room, shuts my door, and then like slaps me in the face and says, "Caroline, Caroline, Caroline." I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's that. But yeah, that's all of them.
Wow. Amazing. Really, really beautiful. I love that picture. That first one is that's the poem of the 4. I mean, that's the longing. Are you a 4 on the Enneagram, Caroline?
No, and I was actually surprised I wasn't, but I feel like maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Maybe you just have a lot of that. Beautiful. The sensory language is so good. The sunlight splitting through tree limbs, flickering tunnel on the hands, hope to move somewhere. I love it. What are you guys seeing? What else?
Thank you.
I love that. I mean, then hearing you explain it, the acorns skipping. Is it skipping above? Really cool. I don't know, to me. And then hearing you explain like the fact that the kind of double meaning of the thoughts in your head is awesome.
I agree with Aaron. The first one is my favorite. Where the sun splits. It's alluding to that hope in the third line, and then the flickering in the second. It's like it's trying to get there. I really like it a lot. The first one.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Lindsay, because I feel you did this really well where you chose your verbs wisely. So if you remember, I can't remember if it was in this book from Pat Pattison, it might be one of his other ones. He talks about verbs are your power amplifiers. Yeah, I just don't remember which book it is. Do you remember? Is it Writing Better Lyrics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He talks about like choosing your verbs well. And so sun splitting through tree limbs. That's powerful. It's shining through tree limbs we've heard before. But splitting through that's great, you know? Flickering tunnel. I love that. Great job. Okay. Gosh, I'm loving this so much. I wish I'd had you guys write 5 each. Jared, you jumping on this?
The alliteration on the C's, I can't even remember the line right now, but like you alliterate like 5 times, and it's like almost like a mouthful, but it like once you get it, it's, I don't know, it just sounds great. I love alliteration.
Yeah, it is really like weird to say. I thought about that. I was like, I should change it, but I didn't out of laziness. Yeah.
I like it because like I feel like John Mark does that a bunch, and it strings these words together, and it's like, okay, how did you find words that sounded so much alike? And then, well, it's also like the what is it, the accent on the syllables where it just gives power to it, and it's like, oh my gosh. So like that sounds like it would be like a song lyric, like a
agreed.
A good one.
Great. Wow. Good, Caroline. Okay. One more round, guys. Travoy, welcome, man.
Travoy.
Am I there? Can you guys hear me?
Got you now.
Okay, cool. I had some technical difficulties. What's up, everybody? Yeah, let me see. So I go back and forth. I change a couple. Let's see. You guys tell me which one you think is best. But the first one is one pulpit preaching, bloodstained robes, singing refrains, chaos in the crowd. Second one is tall trees leave small leaves. Summer and winter fight fall. Students' suitcases. Third one is public potpourri, hugs and kisses extending, hearts pounding, sounding. And then the last two I change, and they read tall trees leave small leaves, summer and winter fight fall, matriculation. And then public potpourri, hugs and kisses extending, reconciliate. And the reason I change it is because in English, I'm an English major, so I had to go back and remember that you're supposed to show and not tell. So I was listening to one of my college professors in my head, and I was like, okay, I got to show matriculation instead of say matriculation, or show reconciliation instead of say reconciliation. So that's why I changed it.
Cool. Talk us through the others. Love it.
So one pulpit preaching bloodstained robes, singing refrains and chaos in the crowd, I feel like has been most of my church experience prior, like when I was younger. It always seemed like something was happening up there, but the same thing wasn't happening where I was sitting. So I wanted to show the difference, the disparity. Tall trees leave small leaves. This one's real simple. I'm on a college campus. I work on a college campus, and this is what I see when kids come to school. So there wasn't a lot of depth there in terms of my personal life, but in terms of what I saw, I just wanted to capture it. And then public potpourri and hugs and kisses extending, hearts pounding and sounding is what I hope will happen soon with everything that's going on.
Beautiful. Wow. Gosh, that second one, summer and winter fighting fall. It's such a great, again, it's that verb. That verb makes the whole line. The whole thing's hanging together by that incredible image. Great job. What else did you guys see?
I just like that these have a unique flavor. I don't know how else to say it, but they just do. And I don't know. I'm drawn to them, and I can't exactly tell you why. I love public potpourri. Probably the alliteration, like Jared was saying, I like the alliteration. And even though you didn't mean it to be deep, like the tall trees leave small leaves, like I could think about that for a while. And the first one, the disparity, like just what you said, like that's something that it's like one of those unconscious thoughts that I've had before, but never, that didn't even really make sense what I said. It's one of those things that you know is there, but I hadn't formed it into a thought that solid before of the disparity happening. That's awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
The tall trees and leave small leaves is the parents and the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Say that.
Huh.
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
No, I was just going to say that first one, it's interesting hearing you say like from your personal experience, because I guess for me, and I guess this is the beauty of like that filling in your own story, but I totally thought about, I was just thinking about stuff through history, like Martin Luther King and like, preaching, and then obviously for me, the history of South Africa, like all the just chaos and blood and and so that, I don't know, that's what went through my mind thinking that, which I thought was just cool to see how those words drawn from your personal experience can translate to something totally different in somebody else's mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, I actually had a similar response to that, Jeremy. Like I saw it as a guy stands up in a congregation with a gun while the service is going on. So the guy's preaching, the choir singing, and they don't even know what's going on yet, but the crowd sees this guy. So talk about like setting a stage for everyone to fill in their own narrative. Really great, Troy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good. Okay. Wow. Great stuff, guys. We've read through 15, no, 18. Lauren had to jump out. We'll look at Will's next week. Any other thoughts on this, guys? Just reflections on as you've listened to everyone, or can anyone start to draw connections between how maybe this could help you even with your next song? Let's do in 2 weeks. Friendly reminder. Any other commentary or reflection?
What do you think about like what Troy was saying about like showing and telling? Like, because the 5-syllable words that he used, like, to me, I didn't know what matriculation meant, but I was like, holy crap, you found a 5-syllable word to sum up that whole haiku. Like, there was like a sense of power in it. Like, I already knew, like, I didn't even know what the haiku meant or the word. And the same thing with reconciliate. I know what reconciliate means. But I don't know, like, what, like, I still kind of have a weird, like, it's hard for me to understand, like, the difference between, like, showing and telling, because when there's a lyric that tells, like, I still see, like, a picture. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you think about what Troy was saying? Like, is he, like, more on spot than...
Well, I mean, it could have, obviously the poems would have worked either way. But I think by changing matriculation to students' suitcases, it's totally different power to me than kids going through school in general, matriculating, or kids coming and going, packing, unpacking, settling, unsettling, kind of. In suitcases, I see like becoming, I see travel, see all kinds of stuff that I don't see in matriculation, you know. But also, I think, like, this is a little different because we're not writing books. But Rick Warren, he told me one time, like, I spent a couple hours with him once years ago. The guy that wrote Purpose Driven Life, and he said when he wrote that book, he basically had the editors that go through and remove any word that anyone over the age of 8th grade couldn't understand. He wanted it to be the most simple, accessible, readable thing ever. For no one to feel like dumb reading his book or like they couldn't follow along. Like an 8th grader can read his book and get everything he's saying. So I think it was a brilliant call to switch out matriculation with suitcases and reconciliation, too. So there's the strategy side of it, of being more accessible, but then there's also the kind of poetic side of being more visual, more sensory. Does that make sense, Jared?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Troy, maybe you can shed more light on it. I mean, you actually swapped them. Tell us more about your thinking.
I think you said it perfectly. I don't need to take up any more time. I wanted to show give a visual account of what people would hope to see or what they were seeing through my eyes. So that's why I switched them. Matriculation, yeah, it's witty, but it kind of sums up the thoughts for you. If you leave students in suitcases, you can throw in your own thoughts. Hearts and pounding and sounding, you can throw in your own thoughts. It might not be reconciliation for you. It might be something else. To me, it's reconciliation, but it doesn't have to be for you. And I think that's the beauty about poetry, is that everybody gets to interpret it how it applies to them in that moment.
Yeah, beautiful. Great. Cool. What other closing observations or reflections on this exercise, guys?
Less is more. Less is more. I still like songs that have very little words, but require a depth to them. My favorite songs are 3 3 lines or 4 lines and very few words, because I feel you can chew on them a lot longer in your soul. I feel like when you have too many words in a song, you don't let it, it doesn't marinate, it doesn't sit. And so I like haikus and I like the exercise because it's going to force me to write fewer words but more powerful imagery.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, I did take this amazing class contrasting Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson, and it really is just a difference of style, and they're both really poets, you know? It's just that Walt Whitman books are about 700 pages, and Emily Dickinson's about 150. So, I mean, with attention spans being what they are, it would be good for us to be able to write songs that didn't need, 15 different slides on PowerPoint. And that's why you did that 4-line song a couple weeks ago. That's why Arvel and I are trying to limit this song that we're working on now, because we want it to be a song that you can just sing in your house without a big band and without slides and without lyrics on screen. We want it to just be a simple little song that you can sing with a missional community. So yeah, this exercise is really helpful. Jeremy, I think I might have cut you off. Sorry.
No. I was just going to say, I'm kind of like, for me, I guess I'm curious to take this and like, I don't know, I've never really tried to write lyrics first, to be honest, like without even thinking about melody. And so I'm kind of curious to like take this concept of like, I guess the boundaries for me, I'm realizing are like just super healthy, you know? And so I'm curious for this next song to maybe like put limits on like, okay, like even this line, like I want to limit it to this many syllables and like, and then even if it's not 5-7-5, and kind of just almost set a structure first in a sense, and then see if it drives me crazy or actually helps. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Totally. I'm always counting syllables. I mean, I showed you those worksheets, right? I mean, I'm paying attention to the syllables, and the more that I read about like great songwriters, they are, I mean, vigilant in trimming syllables and counting syllables, because it affects the rhythm, it affects the speed, it affects everything. So I love this exercise because it makes you do the same thing. Lindsay, closing thoughts.
I don't know that I have any that are different. Same kind of thing. This is hard for me, but it's good for me. It brings out a different kind of beauty to the rhythm, to the poem or the song. So.
Cool. Okay, good. As an aside, Troy, how's your back? You're muted, bro.
I said, oh my God. So I was working out with our trainer and I strained the muscle, and it was, you know how it sneaks up on you. So I got to the car, I was like, okay, I'm really in pain. So I put some icy hot on it, took a shower and rested for a day, and I'm doing much better. But it was rough for a second, to say the least.
Gosh.
Thanks.
And Jeremy, how is your baby?
Good. He's a content little guy, so we're just praying that he stays that way, because our other 3 are firecrackers, man. So, yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations
good.
again.
Thank you.
He's super cute. Caroline, how about you? Closing thoughts on this little exercise?
Great. I'm excited to apply like haiku even to writing worship songs, because I'm like you, I'm like super wordy. But the cool thing too is like, yeah, it makes you dive into detail and like feeling. But I think a lot of times in worship music, especially, we kind of like limit the congregation's ability to like understand. We're like, oh, that's too complicated, they might not get it. But this is like a happy medium of like being really simple but saying something new in a creative way. But also that they can go away and be like, huh, that's a different way of saying that. That's a creative way to worship God. So yeah, I'm like excited to use it in that context too, because I've
Yeah, cool. I think I know what you said. You were breaking up like crazy for me, but I think I know what you said. Was that just me or was that everybody?
Everybody.
Yeah, she was breaking up.
Breaking up.
But we got the gist of what she was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and it, you know, it might be worth trying sometimes, guys. Like I told you, I still go through that Pat Patterson book and will randomly turn to an assignment, an exercise, and choose to write a song out of those constraints. It might be worth playing with, giving yourself some syllable count limitations on lines, and try to write a few verses locked into something. You know, don't even worry about the melody. If the melody starts to come, that's fine, but just let the lyric and the form and the motion of the lyric take you through it. And I mean, I love, again, I think my favorite thing about haiku, besides the limitation, is that you're supposed to have some kind of turn in there somewhere. So even in our songwriting, there would be, we're setting up something that we're finally going to give them, instead of just the whole thing's a big setup and we're never actually going to give them the, you know, the payday or whatever. So I love that about this. Really, really great job. Okay, I want to ask, because I respect him a ton and he hears from the Lord. Arvel, is there anything on your heart for these guys before we jump off?
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for just letting me sit in here, and I feel like we're not just shared, you know, works and songwriting exercise. We really shared, you know, really personal stuff here, and that transcends even for me that I don't know you, and so I'm just, yeah, really overwhelmed by that. And well, English is my second language, so there's also a lot here that may get lost in translation. But for me, you're really sort of pushing the language here, right? And when I write in Danish, I try in every song to have at least one thing, one sort of sentence or word there that I feel like I haven't heard in a worship song before. And here's and what you've just displayed here and shared here is, I mean, there's a whole lot of dynamite for, I mean, lots of exceptional worship songs that would stand out if just, you know, a tiny bit of this would fit in there somewhere. So just be encouraged. Yeah.
Good. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging with us. Fantastic, guys. Really, really great work. Caroline, so good to have you. Good to see you and to hear every other word that you said. I hope she can hear more than every other word that I'm saying. Guys, what we're going to do next week is we're going to do an Enneagram checkup and a Sozo checkup. So we're going to go back to, guys, how's it going? Living out of your resourceful self, your true self, or are you sliding back into old ways? And then we're also going to, check up on Sozo. And then the next week will be your next song, your fourth song. On this one, you can have 8 lines, okay? So you get more options on this one. And if you don't want to use all 8, that's fine, but you can't go over 8, okay? Again, think about a song like the Doxology. It's kind of one of the most famous songs of all time. It's just 4 lines. So you can do a lot with a little. Like Troy was saying, less is more. That's what these exercises are for. And maybe I'm just projecting all of my need onto you guys, but I need these exercises. We need to be more economical. So in the spirit of economy, I'm going to stop talking now and let you go. So great job. Well done. Jesus bless these guys. Bless this baby. Bless Troy's back. Jared's break. Lindsay's crazy work. And Caroline's resting soul. Amen.
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 See you guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.
Caroline, come anytime.
Stay.
See ya.